Hello friends, it's Raquel from Infinite Succulent, and today I would like to share with you repotting a Sansevieria that has been very prolific. So this Sansevieria has put out 1, 2, 3, 4 pups in this very small container. So I'm going to actually, and also the Sansevieria is getting a bit too large for this container, so I'm going to repot. I'm going to take this Sansevieria out. I'm going to separate the pups from the mother plant, and I'm going to repot the mother plant into a larger pot. I'm actually going to plant some of the smaller pups into smaller vessels that I'm going to gift to some friends as well. So that's what I'll be doing today. Materials, what I have today for materials: some activated charcoal, because I add it to all of the soil for all of my plants, especially all of my indoor plants. Some pumice, amazing additive for the soil for especially succulent type plants. They really like the pumice. It helps to maintain optimal moisture, which means not too much moisture in the soil for these plants that tend to like to go dry in between watering. And then I have a good amount of succulent soil mixed already with some activated charcoal and some pumice as well. All right, let's get to it. I'm just gonna, I actually have pumice as the top layer, and I like to add pumice to the bottom as well. So I'm just gonna kind of like allow some of that to fall in here. And this is also a way for me to get to the plants. So let me just show you kind of what's going on here. You see all those roots in there? This is in here really tight, nice and tight. So I'm gonna need to work a little bit at getting it out. One of the things I do for that, chopstick really comes in handy. First, what I'm gonna do with the chopstick is just poke it in there, kind of loosen up the roots, loosen up the soil, kind of give everyone a little wake-up call that there's gonna be some movement happening here, and just kind of help me break all these plants free from this pot. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. That's all it needed. All right, so look at this beautiful root structure. And you can see at the bottom, you can see I create that drainage layer there with the pumice, and you can see the roots have really grown into that as well. So when you are separating a pup from the mother of a plant like a Sansevieria, one thing to note, I'm gonna see if I can show it to you all here, is these guys grow off these very thick, they're not quite roots, they're called rhizomes, I believe. I'll have to check on that. I want to get it so you guys can see it. To hear that nice little crack, that's it right there. And this is pretty much how you separate it. It's kind of a gentle yet firm pulling away. So do you see this really thick, it almost looks like a taproot right here? This is what the mother plant sends off. I believe they're called rhizomes. Mother plant sends them off, and then the new pup grows from it. And you can see it has its own beautiful root structure going. So this is gonna be very easy for me to replant and just pop back up and share with friends. And then I just keep on going around. So I'm getting my fingers into the roots. I'm feeling down this plant to where I can feel that thick part. Yeah, and then you can hear that nice little crack when I pull it away from the mother plant. This does not hurt them. This does not hurt the mother. This does not hurt the babies. In fact, back in May, this exact Sansevieria had put out 2 pups that I had separated, and I actually sent each one of these in a little decorative pot to my mom and my mother-in-law for Mother's Day. And in a short time, this mama pot has put up a lot more little babies. So just separating them out. Again, just feeling down. So now it almost seems as though this mother plant doesn't have a root structure anymore, but she does. I mean, look at that. She's gonna be just fine. And I'm gonna repot her into this larger pot right here. And I have a couple of other ones that I'm gonna add with her as well. So just checking out that root structure. Isn't that amazing? It's so beautiful. And there you can see this rhizome, this like mama root, this almost like an umbilical cord almost, that the mother sends out and the babies grow from. And both of these are coming off of this one big spot right here. So I'm just gonna break them apart. They all have their own roots as well. This one I'm actually gonna pot up to send to my best friend whose birthday is next week. So I'm just gonna pot this into this cute little decorative cup for her. She lives in Chicago and I know she wants more plants, and Sansevieria is just such a fun, easy one. So I'm gonna send this to her. So let me share with you all how I go about creating a drainage layer. So I start with about 2 spoonfuls of activated charcoal. I want you to see it right there. It looks a lot like charcoal you'd use for like a grill, but it's not. It is a little different. So I actually find mine at a gardening store. You're looking for what's called either activated or horticulture charcoal. My favorite brand is actually EB Stone Organics. And then, so that's like the first thing I put in there. And then I do about 2 spoonfuls of pumice, which is actually from volcanic ash, volcanic rock really. And pumice is great. It acts like little sponges. It absorbs extra water and then kind of slowly releases it back into the soil. All right, so that's my drainage layer. I actually, with succulents, often plant a lot in pumice. I don't, sometimes, especially with things like Sansevieria and cactus, sometimes I'll plant them, you know, almost like 60% pumice, 40% soil, because they do really well in pumice. Pumice also has some added, you know, nutrients in it that the plants seem to really like. So that's kind of cool. All right, make sure I got all the roots in there, and then I'm just gonna start spooning some soil in, and then I'll do a little top layer. Well, because I'm actually gonna be shipping this one, so because of that, what I'll probably do is a little top layer of pumice and then cover that with some preserved moss, just to keep it all tucked in when I ship it, and then I can let my friend know she can remove the moss once she has it at home. It's so cute. What's really cute is sometimes these pups, when they get really happy in their new space, they actually start sending out little pups as well, which is absolutely adorable. All right, so now I'm just gonna add a little bit of pumice on the top. All right, so it's got a little layer of pumice at the top. And now, because I'm going to be shipping this to my friend in Chicago, what I'm gonna do, this is a little trick when you're gonna be shipping some planted art, is I'm taking some preserved craft moss. This is some sheet moss right here. And I'm just gonna put it on the top. All right, so I put it on the top like so, and then I use a chopstick to really poke it down, almost like tucking it in. Almost like you're like tucking a kid into a bed, and you're like pushing, you know, putting the blankets and the sheets, tucking it all around them. So just tucking that in really tight. And this moss doesn't need to remain as like a top dressing. I'm actually gonna let her know when she gets it, she can remove the moss. But for shipping purposes, it works great because it kind of acts like a little blanket, keeping all the soil and all the pumice and all the things you want to stay inside in the pot. So that's one little mini. Again, this does not have a drainage hole, but it is concrete, and concrete is very porous, which means concrete itself will absorb water, and things dry, the soil dries out a little faster in concrete than it does in like a glazed ceramic or something like that, because again, this actual material will absorb the water as well. But I will still add a drainage layer at the bottom using some charcoal. And pumice. Cheers. All right. Kind of like them all three next to each other, like little triplets or something. Adorable. And now for soil. This one's probably faster to just use my hands. I really like getting my hands in soil. I actually love it. I just love the feel of it. And it makes me happy. And there's actually, I've done some research on this, and there is actually microbes in healthy soil. Little fungi, little fungi and microbes in healthy soil. And I'm forgetting the name of it right now. It's a very specific type. But when you have your hands in soil and when you're working the soil, this fungi releases little spores out into the air, and you breathe it in as you're working in the garden. You breathe in the soil, you breathe in these spores of this fungi, and they actually have been scientifically proven to be as effective as Prozac and other SSRIs or serotonin, basically other like antidepressants. They are as effective as antidepressants in relieving feelings of depression. So there are microbes in soil that act on our body in a way that helps us to relieve depression and stress and anxiety. Another reason why I really like just getting my hands in the soil. Just a little bit of hummus on top. All right, there you have it. I pack it down, but then I kind of like to take a chopstick and just kind of aerate the soil again. I'll give this a little watering. The soil actually had a bit of dampness to it, so it doesn't need much, but because it's just been repotted, I will give it a little bit of watering. And that is that. All right, the last thing I'm gonna do is replant this beautiful, stab myself in the eye with it, I mean. Now I'm gonna replant this beautiful Sansevieria, and I'm going to repot the Sansevieria as well. So I'm going to do it on high speed for you all, just so you can watch the process, and yeah. All right, and there you have it, separating and repotting Sansevieria. I started off with pretty much 2 different pots of Sansevieria, and now I have 4, and I'll be gifting some of these to friends. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, www.infinitesucculent.com. You can also find me on Instagram @infinitesucculent. Feel free to DM with any questions. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Ah! Bye.